Hello and welcome to Model Railroading for Dummies, the how-to show for model railroading dummies just like me. Now I know I said for the past couple episodes that we are going to be doing some weathering. I keep on lying. Because originally I thought, okay, I just need to add a few details, film that first, and we'll do some weathering. Adding the details took a lot longer than I thought it would. So today I'm going to show you how I added some of the grain chutes for the main building. How to load the copper cars, the old version and the two newer versions. So originally I was just going to use the simple chute that came in with the kit. Then I lost it for a while. So then I was like, okay, I got to make something up. So I went to the prototype in Volga. And so this is what I saw. So it's like, okay, I think I could come up with that. That's fairly simple. It kind of looks cool. So I think we'll go with that. I ended up finding the actual chute. But by that time I got my heart set on the new thing, so I went with that anyways. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Making the old chute and also make the two newer chutes where they still load the grain. So, without any further ado, let's get down to the workbench and start modeling. Okay, here we are at the desk. Now, I think we're going to be using this sprue here. I'm pretty sure it came from this kit, but I don't know where exactly, what sprue or anything. You can use pretty much whatever sprue you want. So, I'm going to be placing it here, because it's going to fit perfectly there. Now, I'm thinking this will have to be trimmed a little bit. In fact, I think I may just do that now. Trim a little bit there. I can always trim more off. Now, when gluing it on, you're going to want to line up along these grooves so this can be nice and straight. Okay, that looks good. Now we're going to need to trim this a bit. So let's put the main kit off to the side. Now we're going to want to have a nice angled piece. Okay, just looked at my picture to make sure I do this right. So I'm just gonna, I should probably use this. Just cut it at approximately the angle that it looks like in the picture. There. There, that looks good. Now, we just need another sprue. Okay, I want a nice straight end. So I'm just going to saw it off versus using the nippers. Okay. Now. Yeah. Okay, now I need to figure out exactly where to cut this. Yeah, I'm just gonna eyeball it, I think. Should probably put this here just so I can keep this fairly straight. Yeah, keep the angle fairly straight. Okay, that looks good. I think we'll glue that together. Now, just need to make sure I get this right. There, that looks good. So we'll wait for that to dry a bit. In the meantime, we need to cut that little piece shoots off here. Yeah, they're going to just do approximately there. Okay, that looks good. We'll put a little bit of glue on here. And we're just gonna put it approximately where it is supposed to be. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to attach this here as sort of the flexible chute. You use this wire because it's approximately the right size. I think I'm going to have to cut this a little bit. I didn't cut it real straight down. I may have to cut it again. I'm going to have to wait for this to dry. Well, it's just about dry. Or at the very least, it's dry enough to test fit it on the model. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. This is sticking out a little bit more than it should, I think. And this needs to be trimmed a little bit, but that can be done with a sanding stick. Yeah, that's a lot better. So let's put this off to the side. And let's trim this. Oh boy. It got stuck. In any case, I think I can just, yeah, that'll work good. Okay, for the chute here, I think I'm going to need to sort of cut it at an angle here so that it fits better. Like so. And it's still not real well. Yeah, that looks pretty good. May need a little bit of trimming. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to trim these wires down a bit so that it fits better. Okay, there's been some developments since I turned the record button off. So I took out all of the little wires out of this thing, and then there was two movable. So I went out to the sheep barn and got some little full wire for wiring gates. Same stuff I use for the trees. And I shoved it up this thing. So now it's about the right size. And I think it's going to work pretty good. And now it's nice and stiff. So I would recommend getting whole wire. I don't have whole wire. I just had this stuff. I don't remember what gauge this is. It's like 16 if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I think that's gonna work. So first of all, I'm going to take this to the layout and make sure that this is not going to get in the way. Okay, I've tried this on, and after some more twisting, because it wasn't working the first time I put it on, going to glue it on, I think. So put a nice dab of super glue. And put it in place. Also, while I'm here, I've also figured out what I'm going to do with the door. I took some of this extra stuff and I cut it to about the size. And so I'm going to use this for a door instead of the included door, which is somewhere around this desk. Oh, here it is. Yeah, this was the original door. It looks like a wooden door, but I didn't know. I did not care for the looks of it. It just did not seem to fit. But I like this here, so I'm going to paint this the same color as this, and then glue it on the back. So things are looking good here. So next up, we're going to need to make the chute for here. Okay, for the next step, we're going to do the other chute, the one that they actually use for this elevator, the main one. So we're going to be using this polystyrene square tube 1/4 inch, this stuff. So that's what we're using. And I'm going to be using the chopper here I got from Micromark, so I can get the right angle. So I'm using the 45, I think that's the one I need. Here, tighten that up. Okay, then just line this up. Okay, it goes most of the way through. So the rest is going to be done by hand. I can find my hobby knife. But it does give you a pretty good you can get fairly accurate with this thing. There. Now I got a fairly good start here. Now the tricky part. I gotta decide how I want to cut the next angle. Let's see, first I think we need to figure out, I'm gonna go to the layout and then sort of guesstimate approximately how far I need this to be. Okay, after a little bit of work, I think I have got it approximately. So it'll be, the building will be like that. And so the spout needs to be right here, so now I need to figure out how I want to do this. I think we cut about there. That should be about right. So just gonna guesstimate approximately where to cut this. There we go. Okay, test fitted it and it worked. So now I need to figure out how to get this exact so that get it straight down. So okay, it's kind of looking like I'm gonna have to cut this a little bit differently to make this work. Gotta trim that end off. Trim that. Okay, let's trim that off. Okay, that looks good. Now we'll trim this little bit off. Want to sort of test fit so I make sure I know exactly what I'm doing. Okay, I think I need to leave the very top part of this off, otherwise I need to trim that all off. Okay. Okay, this needs to be trimmed some more. Okay, I'm gonna cut this off. I'm just gonna say about there. The exact height doesn't matter much here. It's just gonna make a difference how high it's gonna be on the elevator. Okay, I'd recommend holding that down so that you don't go flying. Fortunately, it hit something. I think it was a can of spray paint. Okay, and just want to... Okay, this angle here needs to be trimmed a little bit. So something like this just requires a lot of fiddling. Yeah, there we go. Okay, there's a little bit of a lip here that needs to be trimmed, but that's no big deal. Okay, I think I'll trim that after I glue this together. So, it's just going to be a simple matter of adding a little bit of super glue or some other type of glue. And gluing her in place. Preferably not to the board thingy. There, now okay, now we have a nice chute with which the grain could come out and load the cars. Okay, now let's go test it on the model. Okay, now I tested it on the layout and it works good. So the way this will work, it'll kind of stick on like so. And this needs to be trimmed a little bit. It's a little bit uneven here, so that needs a little trimming. No big deal there. So this is definitely going to be a thing when you want to glue it on. You put the model in the location it's supposed to be, then glue it on to make sure that it will work. And this is looking really good. Just needs to be painted. So this needs a dull coat anyway to seal the decals before we weather the place. So yeah, things are looking pretty good. So haven't decided if I want to make a second one here, which I may do. So overall, this is really looking good. And these are just small details you can add that really improves the look of the model. I mean, originally I had to come up with this because I couldn't find this piece. But you know, if you compare her, you know, you put this here. Looks like it's going to need to be trimmed. But you know, you put that there. Yeah, it looks nice. But this, adding this here, makes it look unique. And it's those little details that help make a model really stand out. So yeah, I think I will be making a second one and adding it here. I think that'll look cool. So I think I'll do that right now. Okay, we are on the layout here because I want to have this in place to install the chutes. So here's a tip for you when painting some smaller objects like these. So get this in frame. There. Now you may notice that I got them glued on to some toothpicks here. So I just simply took some super glue, glued them in. Very easy to just pop off. Something I thought of. Okay, fairly easy to pop off. I think that one is stuck in a little bit more. Yeah, that I put that one in a little bit further. Oh, no deal. No big deal. I can just quick trim that off. This piece here, the the old chute, I just glued that to a popsicle stick, and she pops right off. And in this door here, I just had some tape here. That way I can get a nice even spread without any trouble whatsoever. Okay, first thing we're going to do, I think we'll glue on the main chute. Now the reason why I want to glue this on here, not on the desk, is so I could test it out like that, and that chute still needs to be bent over some. There, that looks good. Now, just put some super glue on there. Ooh, I got some on the model where it's not supposed to be. Okay, I think I got it. Oh, shoot. Okay. There we go. Try to get it about as straight as you can. And then we'll just have to hold this in place for a little while until the glue sets up enough. Okay, that looks good. Okay, now for the main chutes themselves. So I think we're going to be putting them like so. I think the first one here will be approximately here. The other one over here. Okay, I need to check something out. I need to make sure how high a locomotive is. Okay, that's good to know because where I had it before, this is really cutting it close. Particularly, and the horns would definitely not make it. So I mean, there is going to be times where I'm going to be bringing this locomotive way back in here, in case there's just maybe one boxcar or something. So that's good to know. So the height will be determined by the horns here, because that's probably going to be the tallest thing that's ever going to go in the siding. So we'll just take this one here and then approximate where it should be. And once we got that done, just put a little bit of glue on it and stick it in place. Okay, I've got the two installed. What I ended up doing is taking it off and putting it down on the desk to hold it because it was taking forever. Now for the moment of truth. There, that don't look half bad. So one thing to note, I did dull coat the entire building because you need that to seal the decals, help seal the decals. And not only that, it had just a little bit of a sheen to it, which you don't want. And so I also dull coated these chutes there as well. I need to dull coat this too. Gonna need to do that before we weather next time. So, for the most part, things are looking very good. I'm liking how this turned out for the most part. Yeah, so things are looking good. Okay, that's going to have to be it for today. Model's really looking good. And next time, we definitely are going on to weathering. Finally. Yeah, this time I'm not going to go to something else. There's nothing else I can think of. So if you like this video, please feel free to leave a like and also to subscribe. And if you do subscribe, make sure to hit the little bell icon so you receive notifications when I release new content. So until next time, keep working on your model railroads, keep having fun, and until next time, keep your trains on the tracks.